This is, before I come to this topic of challenges which have come up due to proliferation of drones. Sometimes an opportunity comes up for few people and it becomes a challenge to somebody else. Just now, yes, sir. He was talking about it. Actually, this is one of the things which I have listed here. Regulatory challenges. Okay, sir. I'll try and put it in correct perspective. Though the topic says armed forces, but it is of common interest to everybody. I'll try and address generally what are the challenges which are being faced in the environment due to proliferation of drones. The drone itself is a huge solution provider. Something called tipping point. Now, tipping point is where an idea comes up, it matures, and suddenly one fine day you find that there's a huge mass application and the market is flooded with this, where it goes into commercial application. Okay. Now, nobody knows when the tipping point has come. It is very easy to say about 2-3 years back, okay, suddenly, like it has happened with mobiles. So you would have found somewhere in 2000, 2001, one odd person carrying a mobile and all, and suddenly now you find your mate is also carrying everybody. Now, when did this happen? Nobody knows. But the point is, people who were ahead of the curve, those who can at least somewhat see where it is coming, and those entrepreneurs who can take advantage of this, they will have a lot of benefits. And those who jump into the fray after everything has happened, and then if they think, they are already behind the curve, they have to think of something ahead. Okay. Now, there are a few challenges which have come up. Suddenly, whole lot of drones have come. Big, small, micro, chota, shadi, this, that. Fortunately, I was associated with drones. First time I have heard about UAV was in the year 1987. I was doing a small course in School of Art in Devlali. There used to be a lecture called Modern Trends in Artillery. And this was one of the things which was mentioned. What it was mentioned? Artillery was the one which saw, it is used for surveillance. How do we, because it was one of the major tasks. So somebody said, because the UAVs somewhere in the Western countries, they were already using it. Israelis were developing it. At that time, they used it in Lebanon and all, in the Bekaa Valley and all. So thereafter, I happened to be there in Delhi in the Weapons and Equipment Directorate, where we were progressing a case for acquiring these drones. It was a huge challenge. First challenge was to, get this case through. Nobody was willing to say, why do you need this? Don't need it. Suddenly Kargil happened. Then everyone woke up, helter-skelter. And from Israel, whatever it is, we bought. And in 2000, 1999 rather, 2 troops of UAVs from Searcher Mark 1s from Israel were flying. They was with the army. And I was commanding the unit in Jammu in 2000, and the other one was in Bikaner. So they were huge drones for that time. They were huge drones which could fly for about 7 hours. They could fly at 7,000 feet and, all those things. And the capability which they had at that time is unheard of. One could see, one used to fly inside the other side, and in the night one could see men moving. People thought, what is this? You could see, and whoever thought was, you could again surprise in the night, or night was a safer place to do operations. It was a huge wake-up call. There is no night, there is no day. Okay, now coming to it, and suddenly one found sometime in 2013, 14, people like Idea Forge were making small drones in Mumbai. This is a big company which was making, they came with small drones. And similarly, suddenly in 2015, 16 and all, you found whole lot of proliferation of drones. Shadi mein drones, micro, mostly DJI from China. They flooded the market with these drones. And now nobody knew, like you were saying, sir, the policeman obviously doesn't know. The policeman doesn't know. And suddenly the government realized there was a need to, regulate this. Who can fly, who cannot fly, where to fly, who can import, who can make it, and all those things. And forget about making, most of them were being imported, small drones, and it could be imported by anyone, photographer, and even Kumbh Mela, people were made a lot of money flying drones and, managing crowd. Police was hiring, the same police was hiring these people without license, by the way. The same police was hiring these people without, because they needed it. So then it was given to DGCA, because they were supposed to be the ones who were regulating the air and logically. But even in DGCA, I can say with confidence, when it was given to them, they had no clue as to how to regulate it. But slowly, sir, this version 1 came, version 2 came. So this is still a challenge. This is a regulatory challenge which you face. Now the regulator is coming to terms with, because somebody said, you cannot stop an idea whose time has come. You may say, I don't need it. The world doesn't think so. And it just suddenly comes and you say, now how do I use it? Where is Reni? I mean, saying, why do you need logistic drones? You may feel you don't need it, but it will come. And then someone else will beat you in this game by using that, and then you will say, okay, where did I miss this? Like it happened with ATMs with banks. When the ATMs were put up by ICICI and all, who will need it? Why should I go it? And then an incentive was given to people for it. Then suddenly now without ATM, now nobody goes to ATM because there is a UPI. That's how it developed. So proliferation of drones has happened, and we have started using it in every sphere. Whether it is agriculture, whether it is survey, whether it is national, these people, films. Earlier, these people used to take cameras on the helicopters, fly and take. Now you don't need a small drone, which used to cost probably a couple of lakhs. Now it will be a couple of thousands. So this regulatory challenge is the major challenge. The regulator has to get its act together. How to facilitate? How to facilitate entrepreneurs? People who are users. I'll try and give a user perspective, because I'm a user. I'm not a developer. I've been a user since year 2000. These drones. Okay, now it is from miniaturization has taken place. The moment a miniaturization takes place, it floods the market. That's what has happened. So the regulator has to see, because the regulator is also wary of an incident which is happening. If you remember, sometime in 2017, December or 18, there was a drone sighted outside Gatwick airport in London. They didn't know what to do. They shut down the airport for 3 days. Though these things don't happen in India, because India chalta hai. But there they shut down the airport. It happened in Frankfurt. So the regulators, tomorrow what happens? If you see what is happening in Sudan, this is a civil war going on. Drones are being used freely by the rebels, by the government, each one, suicide drones, these drones, that drones. So this is a challenge which the government has to interact with the industry. Probably it is on. Sir, it will take little time, sir, but your point is very valid. So, next challenge is the privacy and misuse by individuals. Now you are flying a drone. You want to take a camera, photo, drone, shadi wadi. Now you go next to a building. You are looking inside their bedroom from a distance. Who is stopping you from filming them? This is a privacy concern. Now these are all regulatory concerns, privacy concerns, these have to be addressed together. Next comes to, there is an opportunity as well as a challenge for entrepreneurs, urban air mobility. What is urban air mobility? Today you want to fly, I come from Hyderabad, I have taken a flight from Hyderabad airport, I have come here, somebody has come from Chandigarh, he has taken flight, he has wrote whatever, our mobile is there. Now today, I was here from, the flight time from Hyderabad to Delhi is 2 hours. Now, if I have to go from Yapral, where I stay, to say Banjara Hills or somewhere, it takes 3 hours. Urban air mobility, how do we do? Metro is there. Now, what is stopping? This is food for thought. I mean, it is not such a simple thing. What is stopping you to have drone corridors? You have created a corridor for the trains, you have created a corridor for metro. You vertical separation karke, there is a possibility one can create a corridor for drone corridor. There are already people trying out drone taxis in Dubai and all. There were some things which took place. Okay. So if instead of traveling through this road for 3 hours, probably tomorrow, maybe 4 years, 5 years, it is going to be a reality. So probably, but somebody needs to work on urban mobility. Now the point is, once you have these drone corridors made, I would like to order a pizza by drone, why not? Today Zomato comes to me, whoever thought that I will order Zomato this thing. So one should not foreclose any possibility or anything which is likely to happen. Be prepared for it, and if you are an entrepreneur, stay ahead of the curve, try and find a solution. Next come to, now let us look at these unmanned aerial vehicles. Some people call it drones, some people call it unmanned aerial systems. A time has come now, It is unmanned systems, no longer air. There are whole lot of work is going on underwater. Whole lot of work is going on. The whole lot of cables which are being laid. Now there are some terrorists and all, they are targeting those things. Anti-submarine warfare, I mean it is a separate topic by itself, whole lot of things. Okay, similarly today as we talk, there is a trial which is going on in, I think somewhere ahead of Leh. Robo mules. Those who are aware of the army, they kachar hote hain. You know, where roads is not connected by roads, you take this kachar, you know, each kachar will take some load, deliver water, deliver rations, deliver this, deliver that. Now, kachar wala also charges lot of money. Now, it depends availability. Now, today I believe that drone, that robo kachar, robo mule can carry probably about 60-70 kgs of load. It has an endurance of about 6 to 7 hours. So, whoever has done it, he has provided a solution. So, don't look at drone as a flying machine or this thing, look at it as a platform. And the other thing which needs to be integrated is the payload. The game is integration of payload with this platform. Those who can get this and then look for solutions. What can I do with this? Okay, what it's like having an ice cream with that cone. Whoever thought at some point someone got it together, okay, this ice cream tastes good with this cone. Similarly, you have to see how best if I develop a particular say sensor or payload which is capable of doing a particular thing. Now if the payload needs certain characteristics, now this drone should be able to facilitate that. If it is you know, undercarriage one, then the drone has to be structured in such a manner that if you are logistic drones and all that. So there is a research and probably some technology where entrepreneurs need to do, you know, improvement of the system. Unfortunately today, we can all talk, you know, these many drones, you know, this is most of the critical components are being imported. We know it. Most of the critical components are being imported. The challenge is to make this critical. You don't have, if you're talking of not the drones which are operated by batteries, if you are wanting to talk of a big one, we don't have engines. Nobody makes an engine. Engine is either you take from Taiwan, you take from this Germany. I mean, we don't have any. So, R&D is a challenge. But all over the world, even in US, when the thing took place, R&D has always been supported by the government. Even if you talk of semiconductors, if you talk of AMD or if you talk of all these people, initially the Department of Defense has earmarked a project for development for defense use. And once it is successful, then it goes into this thing. So the government probably is aware of this. So R&D, without R&D, you will continue to import these things. And someone caught them in, someone asked a question, why these components are Chinese components? Now what can he do? I mean, so this is a big lacuna in this. R&D has to be inbuilt into this entire drone ecosystem. Now how you have to do it? Without R&D, you will not progress much. Then there is a robust architecture. This is a big challenge. Now there are some green zones. DGC has laid down. They have tried to do something. There is a green zone, you can fly here. There is this thing, this is a red zone, you cannot fly here. Okay. Now, to my understanding, whatever little I have seen from 2000 as a user, I mean, this architecture has to be separate from this, you know, your airline's architecture. It has to be separate. It's totally different. It is used for something totally different. Airline people, they take off from a particular place, they fly at a particular height, they go there and all. It has been refined over a period of time. They're doing it. Whereas this is just in a nascent stage. The architecture, once you have a proper architecture, then the regulator also will be able to make rules and facilitate and see. Then only you will be able to gain optimum advantage of this. So this architecture is a big, we were talking of suicide drones. It doesn't stop anyone to get a small drone, put some explosive in that and just crash into something. And one incident is enough. It will put you back by another 10 years. They will say that there will be no flying, there will be nothing. So probably there is a case where it is like Iron Dome of Israel, where you know they have a shield or umbrella. One must have some counter drone umbrellas. These are all futuristic. I mean, this is not going to happen over a period of time, but these are challenges which are there in front of the industry. Ultimately, the industry has to provide solutions. R&D is required. Without R&D, you will otherwise someone else will develop, like Israel will develop. All our drones, military drones, all of them are imported from Israel. All of them, except now these predators and the reapers which we are getting from US and all. At one point, even US was importing drones from Israel, somewhere in 95, 96. Israelis are the actually modern day UAV system. Israelis are the market leaders. Okay, nobody has been able to reach that kind of a sophistication. But small drones which doesn't require all that. So there has to be an exclusive regulator for, to my mind, for the drones, because the DGCA has a particular mindset. Or you have a separate wing. They have in the DGCA, there is a separate wing is there, but they are looking at it is like similar to an aircraft. All that probably there is a need, because the applications are different, the heights are different, their categories are totally different. Okay, today you have swarms, you know, one like mosquito type of a thing people are putting. You put 1 kg of 1 gram of explosive in these things, and about a swarm goes, it blasts into a building. Now the swarm is a different kind of a architecture which is different. So the swarm we are talking, okay, swarm, there is one swarm demo held here also. In the real sense, actually we have not really been able to get the actual essence of swarm. A swarm is like a beehive. There is a queen bee, there are some other followers, there is this thing, each one has got a different, they seem to be flying together, but they don't. Each one has got a different role. Okay, they do their task, they report to this thing, they come together, then one batch takes off, second batch takes off. So while we may be making hardwares, it is probably the software which requires to be integrated, and we have the best brains, but it is the R&D and probably some funding, and it is the will to do it, not to take the easier way. Now, the government has got a big role to do it. Suspension payload, we talked of it. The payloads are totally different. Some are fixed, some are missiles, some are military to suspension. And the future is going to be, if you are going to be in the medical field, now the whole thing has to be suspended and taken half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, it has to fly suspended. So that entire aerodynamics and all have to be structured to carry a suspended thing. Okay. So unless the finesse comes in, unless the fineness and the confidence comes in well, and then again the trade-off between the endurance, between the payload carrying capacity and all that. Logistic drone, why it has become such a big challenge to find logistic drones in the high altitude areas? Because there the performance comes down. Now the army requires that, someone is saying, okay, it can fly for 15 minutes with 2 kgs. It doesn't help. If my requirement is, I need at least 20 kgs to be taken something. So these are couple of things. The main thing is the counter drone. A lot of people are talking. Now the next step is counter drones. Now if some rogue elements, if some non-state actors, if they are going to use, if you and me are going to use drones, they are also going to use the drones. How are we going to counter? And similarly, if we are going to use drones, if someone is countering them, what are the counter measures? A very old philosophy of radio communication, Fauj mein bolte the ECM, ECCM, ECCCM. So each one has to be ahead of the. So it has to be. People have to be. Very few people are actually talking of counter drones. I think yesterday there was a talk, sir. I think he spoke. So counter drones is the next big thing. How to do it? Like chaff is there. Just one example. There's a electromagnetic chaff is the latest thing. You don't release chaff now. It is also electromagnetic chaff. Just one of the things. R&D. Second thing is, whoever is developing a drone, he has to look at it as a solution provider. What solution I can provide? Say today in the army headquarters, or I'll talk of army headquarters, that okay, make a QR for a particular logistic drone. So somebody is told, people like me. Now I have no clue. I will refer to 10-15 magazines, take out the best, try and put it together, speak to a couple of people who have knowledge, and I will say I require A, B, C, D, and 10 these things, which may not be possible, and that used to be a cat and mouse game between the armed forces and the DRDO earlier. We'll leave that out for the time being. So as developers, as entrepreneurs, you do well to look for what are the problems which the armed forces are facing, what are the challenges they are facing in their day-to-day operations, and what solution I can provide. You submit a suo moto proposal. There is something called ADB. I know about Army headquarters. Army Design. Jalman was here, I think yesterday. He was here. There is an Army Design Bureau which has been set up, which can interact with entrepreneurs. You suggest a solution. These are the, to my understanding, this is the problem which is being faced by the armed forces. I can provide the solution. Similarly, there is one organization called SIDM also, I think, which is there. They're all doing it. So the ecosystem is sensitive to all these things, but it will take time. But these are the things which one has to. Other thing is Chinese components. It is a challenge, whether we like it or not. A time comes, time क्या अभी बोल रहे हैं in the RFI or RFP which service no Chinese component will be used. Now whether you can do it, you can't do it, I don't know. So these are the things. No, I mean I'll just close my talk here. If should there be any question from someone, I'll be willing to answer. Please.
Thank you, sir, for the extremely enlightening talk. You won't believe that a lot of the thesis that we have for our company has actually listed down the exact things that you have said, specifically the vertical integration from the use case to the software to the hardware to the entire airframe, right? And we are kind of looking at solving some of these problems like logistics from a first principles point of view. So very, very enlightening. I feel like everything that we have been thinking and doing, I just feel like complete synergy between your brain and my brain
Thank
for
you.
some reason. So
I'm
thank
a
you so
user.
much.
I'm not a developer. I've been a user throughout.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm a Bachelor of Arts from JNU. Delhi.
I mean,
Okay.
the point is you're saying all the right things, and
uh.
we completely believe in the way you are thinking about it. It's a validation for us, right?
So anyone, I'm saying ADB is very open. Army
Yeah.
Design Bureau, the Air Headquarters also must be having a similar thing. Uh, but I know about Army Headquarters. They have called this ADB. They are looking out to providing support, and
Understood.
also there are a lot of these challenges like Meher Baba competition is there. They called Army Headquarters also. Then the IDEX. These entrepreneurs need support.
Absolutely.
But a time has come for the entrepreneurs also to wear the hat of the user.
Correct. Correct.
Don't always get stuck in this tech
Absolutely.
mindset. Be
Yeah.
like a person on the streets. He doesn't know anything. What does he need? Can I provide a solution to him?
Right.
Okay. It is like Zomato delivery. How do you deliver? That is your choice. I mean, how it's your headache.
Correct.
And if tomorrow, if somebody can come and drop it on my thing, I will take it. Whether it is needed or not needed, different thing.
Right.
Okay.
So my question to you
Yeah.
is, so we have kind of navigated this entire space. I've looked at the unit economics, the commercials, and figured out that from a logistics point of view, we actually have a very strong case to deliver 10 times faster logistics at half the price that last mile delivery is done today. Today it is roughly 10 rupees per kilometer for your bike deliveries, right? So we worked out the maths, we worked out the operations, the economics, and it works. The commercials work. The challenge that we are facing, and you very rightly mentioned, is basically the red, yellow, and green zones, especially in urban areas. We are looking at scale use cases, right? And the highest scale comes in the highest population density, which is urban areas, which is highly regulated, which is fair. But it's a very difficult task when you need to have an on-demand flight which requires no permission, no takeoff policy, and you need to apply a couple of days in advance. It just doesn't work, right? So what, maybe not now, but we can connect after if you have some time.
Sure,
But what would be very helpful is if you can point us and guide us to how to navigate this regulation, who we can work. We are happy to work with regulators. We are very happy to sit beside them, inform them about how it should shape. Maybe they tell us this is what we can do, cannot do. But if you can give some, guidance
No, we
as
can
to
we
how
can
to
interact.
navigate this,
Yeah, definitely.
then I believe as a company I can create thousands of jobs. Right. So I would love to kind of hear
No,
your
no, we'll
thoughts on this.
sure.
Yes.
We will talk
Thank you
about
so
it.
much for this enlightening talk.
Thank
I
you, sir.
think
Thank you. Thank you.
I just feel complete synergy. I feel like you have taken all of our thinking and you have just said it
Thank you.
on this forum.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
As I said, nobody can stop an idea whose time has come. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.